Hey everyone! So happy Saturday and welcome to week 27. We are moving right along. So yes, I do have a jelly plate on my desk, and these are some examples of some envelopes that I had done. I hosted a Facebook Live and did this session where we used paintbrushes and paint on the jelly plate and just did a lot of good stuff that you guys already have the tools for. And so we made some sort of book kinds of booklet things, and let me see, number of things here. Where is some pockets, so different pockets and stuff with envelopes using our jelly printed envelopes. I like using these so that I can put them right in my my journals. You guys have seen, let me just grab it real quick. You've seen my jelly, what I call my jelly junkadori. And so a lot of times I just like to make, do sessions where it's mindless jelly printing. I'm not thinking a lot about it, but I can just make a lot of, and I like using envelopes. Plus I find these envelopes all the time at the Goodwills and stuff like that. It's amazing how you can get boxes of it for like a couple bucks. So like you can really, sort of make your own flaps, and then, or pockets. You could collage this side. You could also jelly print the other side. But I use these a lot inside of my journals. Like I'll show you. Like this one, I made a booklet. So same thing, took the envelope and just put that corner down. And then just using some, bits of tea stained and coffee stained papers. I just used the stapler and stapled it in and made these little flaps. So yeah, these are fun and they just work so well. Like you can literally just have fun making these up. It's like when you want to do something in your studio, but you want to kind of keep it easy, or you want to sit with the family and look at a movie or something. Well, if you jelly print a lot of these, you can literally sit down and just glue them and cut them and turn them in the pockets and do little things like that. It's like really mindless. And this is why I used it for this week's inspiration, because daydreaming. That's week 27, daydreaming. So let's read from the manuscript. So daydreaming is a short-term detachment from one's immediate surroundings, during which a person's contact with reality is blurred and partially substituted by a visionary fantasy, especially one of happy, pleasant thoughts, hopes, or ambitions, imaged as coming to pass and experienced while awake. Now, you can see why this fits into the last several weeks of everything that we were doing, from creating our stair-step goals. Like all of these things just segue together and we just keep on building on them. There are scores of studies that document the relationship between creativity and daydreaming. It appears that our brains are hardwired for these random and intermittent cycles of daydreaming. Daydreaming is the brain's way of resting and recycling ideas and information. While idle and disconnected from specific tasks, the brain is able to bring forward solutions or even epiphanies. If you're like me, some of your best ideas come in the shower, driving in the car on a long stretch of road, or on long walks. As an artist, I find that many of my best ideas also come when I'm engrossed in a painting session where my mind is free-flowing and is in a state of zen. I'm happy, relaxed, and receptive to new inspirations. One of my favorite pastimes is to sit in my studio staring at some of my recent work while I allow my mind to float away to a recent and distant place that I had visited, recounting the sights and sounds, the colors and visual inspirations that excited me. Not only does this revive me, I also feel instantly more excited to get back to work, with many new ideas flooding in. One interesting bit of information that came out of one of the studies on daydreaming is that you daydream less as you get older. Daydreaming is often about anticipating the future, especially in a fantasy context. As people get older, the amount of time they spend daydreaming decreases, perhaps as the future shrinks. This is what this Peter Delaney, a psychologist at the University of Northern Carolina at Greensboro, says. You know what we say to that? As creatives and as artists, we're constantly daydreaming. You only maybe even think about it as daydreaming, but if you sit and just think about, okay, I'm going to go in my studio, I'm going to do such and such, or I really like to paint this picture, or I wonder what these colors would look like together. Like you're moving into that sort of beta state, where, daydreamings are really spawned. So I really want to encourage us to go back and, like the kid in us, just sit there and have some daydreaming time. Just sit and look out your window, relax, get your favorite beverage, and just allow yourself 5 or 10 minutes just to daydream like we did when we were kids. Like that happy, fun playing time. So if the above is true that Mr. Peter Delaney has said, I think that it's unfortunate by the product of structure of our current society. Yet also I know that as artists, we have given ourselves permission to be inspired and creative through using our imaginations and fantasies. I encourage you to incorporate a little powerful daydreaming into your day and see how it may stimulate your creative mind, excite your artwork in new ways. And so this fits in so beautifully with last week's of dream journaling, because I'm telling you, the more you sort of daydream, things even come up in my daydreams that I put in my dream journal, because it's not about like the nighttime nocturnal field. Okay. It's like anytime you sit down and ideas pop up, or like I even use my journals for like if I'm looking at listen to a podcast or looking at some kind of, documentary, and something comes up, an idea or a thought or a word, I'll grab the journal and jot it in, because those are the places that I'll go back and read and be even further inspired. So I want you to sort of expand your thinking about your dream journaling, or the information that you're putting in your 365 journal that may have sort of the dream journaling elements we talked about. So you don't have to start a new journal, but just keep on using this one. And then also just kind of track some of the daydreaming. But most importantly, just stop and spend some time just in a day. Like if you have in the morning, if you have coffee or your tea, or midday, if you have your cup of tea, or in the evening, you're sitting down, you have a glass of wine or something. Take that time to just say, you know what, I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to daydream a little bit. You'd be surprised at how you'll just feel so renewed. So I wanted to do this technique, because this technique of painting with a paintbrush on the Gelli plate, first of all, it just looks like a nice abstract painting. I did these on envelopes, but you can do it on paper, whatever you want to use. And literally you can do this for hours. When I start this, I'll work for several hours before I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'll have like stacks of envelopes or stacks of paper, whatever I'm using. But it's great because I can use all of this stuff in my artwork, and so I'm happy to do it. But you don't have to think. That's the most amazing thing about it. You literally don't really have to think about any of this process. So let's get to it. Let's go to the table and let's get started. You guys are going to have a lot of fun with this Gelli printing process. All right, take care. Love you all. So we are down on the table, and today I have a fun tutorial, I guess we can call it, planned for you all. And with, being week 27 and daydreaming, and how many of us when we were kids just loved to daydream. I know I loved to daydream, but we were always admonished for it, right? So I thought we've been dealing a lot with, just giving ourselves compliments, and, we've been dealing with our goal, staircase for our goals of dreaming of the things we really want to have happen, or things like we may think might not ever happen, but like how cool it is just to like dream and fantasize that maybe they will. We've been dealing with our own dream journal, and I shared with you how I keep a dream journal and how that's been very powerful, actually adding to my art mythos and my own dialogue as an artist. And today with daydreaming, it's just like just having fun, just allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to escape. I think we all need permission to escape. And however we do it, that's good, So I pulled out the jelly plate. And one of the things I like to do is just sort of mindless jelly printing, just having fun, exploring, not like trying to make it be anything one way or the other, just having a good time. Sort of like daydreaming, just allowing yourself, your mind to just move and just escape. So this is a journal that I keep all the time. It's called my Gelli Junk Adori. It's like the Midori Traveler's Notebook style because it has the elastic and everything. And I make these. I have several of them. And I make these and I keep one every year. I normally reuse the covers. And then so this cover I'll be reusing for this one. But I always kind of create them with a fabric cover. And then once they're completely done, I sew them together. So this is normally about a year's worth of stuff in here. A little less than a year. And so I'm always making pockets, you know, and using envelopes for flip out. Let me see, I have, oh, here we are. For these flip outs. So I sort of made this little booklet pages, you know, blank papers using stained papers. And this is an envelope. So you can make these flips. I make pockets with them. And so I just like to have them ready to go. You can see I do a lot of jelly printing in there. I do my style of kind of painting. So I want my pages to look, like when you flip through my junk journal, I really want it to look interesting. Like every page is telling a story. This is like a piece of fabric end that I just stapled on and made a tag. This is just some fringe, some trim. I made pockets out of fabric. So, yeah. These are a lot of fun. So, I generally will print up, you can see all different kinds of pockets. So, and this is even a pocket here. This lady, I like this. Where is, had her here. Just kind of showed it and then she disappeared. This one. So I actually made a pocket or like a tuck spot using this statue's body, and it's been I glued it onto a book page, so you can see a little bit of the book page there. And then I made a booklet, sort of like a smaller passport type of booklet that slips right in here. So our tuck spots don't have to be squares and straight and all that. It can be images that you turn into a tuck spot. So we're going to just have some mindless fun and I'm going to use some bright colors. So you guys, a lot of you will like that today. I just want happy, just easy, fun type of pockets. And I know I'll do some Sumi ink on it. Having some coffee here. So let's see. This is one that I just did recently on Facebook Live on the Gelli Arts page. You guys, probably many of you know that I'm on their creative team, on Gelli Arts creative team. So we normally I do a monthly or maybe 5 weeks now or 6 weeks. I'll do a live on their page and we'll just play around with different techniques. And so this one we had a lot of fun. So I thought, let's do this today. I'm using the Arteza. These are the jewel tone metallics. I love these paints. And right now, I mean, I know that they've had a pretty good sale on their site. I'll put the links below to go over to them, but they may, by the time this video goes live, they may still have, you know, a discount on their site. Okay, so let's get going here. So what I like to do is I like to start with a flat color. So I think my flat color basis today is going to be my white and my portrait pink. And we're also going to use some glazes to be our base as well. So you'll see. So yeah. So what we'll do, get a layer down. Not too thick, not too thin. You know how it goes. I'm using the, this is the plate, is the 9. This one is the 9 by 12. And I'll put a coupon code because if you go to their site, you use my coupon, you'll get 10% off of your purchase. Anything on their site. So makes it a little, covers shipping. Okay, so we're just going to paint the front of the envelopes. I'm not going to glue them yet. We'll get this going, and then once some things dry, I'll show you how I make the different kind of pockets I make. None of it's, you know, revolutionary. You probably have a lot of great ideas for making pockets yourself, but I'll show you just a few of the standard ones that I make, and how I turn some of these into booklets. So, okay, so we want to see. So we want to just start off by getting you're not going to see much because it is white. I'm just sort of looking at it, but we're just going to get some old stuff off the plate. So we're going to be, you know, we're going to build up right away to it looking yummy. So you can already see old stuff's coming off. So we want that. Okay. So I'm going to put these to the side and let them dry. And then I'm going to do a layer of the pink, portrait pink. So you just get a few different ones going because we're going to be working these back and forth. So as they dry, I kind of get my layers going, and then we'll, you know, keep on adding to them until we have them where we want them. Just switching things around too, because what happens is that it'll set up different marks on the page, leaving behind certain amounts of paint in different regions, and then that'll start adding when we start using different colors. I don't do the backs in this particular one because generally I'm gluing them right down to the page because we're making pockets or we're making flap books that we actually can put right onto our pages. So that's the idea. Of course, if you want to do the backs for a different application, you can, but generally on these I just kind of, and if I decide that, oh, you know, once these are all done and I do want the back to, you know, have something on it, then I normally will just, you know, glue some paper or something. So, yeah, this is good. Alrighty. So, let's get a little bit more of this. Let me grab like a metallic. This Martha Stewart. This one is called Champagne. Let's get a little glaze because we can use our glazing also. The main thing is you're just building up thin layers. Now we're going to be painting with a paintbrush in this technique. So we're just getting our base layer down so that when we get ready to paint, we'll have a base layer already on the page to kind of keep on working up. These envelopes, just so you know the size, because I didn't say, these are 3 3/4 by 6.5 inches, excuse me, or 9¼ centimeters, no, 9.5 centimeters by 17 centimeters. So that's the size of them. And they're perfect for using in your junk journals. Oh, look, that color is so pretty. It's looking good. So I just kind of dab to pick up like any spots that, you know, didn't get paint on them. Flip it like that. And then we can even clean the brayer off a little bit on this. Alrighty. So, now, I'll put these to dry. And we will go ahead now and do some painting. So, I'm going to put, so now I'm just going to use just some regular, you know, paint brushes. Just, you know, get different sizes so that you can make different marks. So let's go ahead and put, I haven't used this pink. I think I have. Oops. No, maybe not. Alrighty. Let's get that back in the bottle. Need to shake it up a little better. Alrighty. Yeah, much better. And I'm going to get some of this orange. Better shake it up. Alrighty. And that right there, we're going to wipe off. That's just going to make like a slick spot. I don't want that on the plate. We don't need that. Let me see. Maybe I have few boxes of these. I know I've used these orange. I guess I must have pulled out the box I hadn't used yet. Okay. Like these are. Sorry about this. I don't know why they've separated like this. I've used them. Okay, let me just go ahead and do this one right now, so you guys can, because you don't have to do two colors at the same time. So I just kind of do different patterns. Just, you know, just sort of just make brush strokes. Try not to have globs on there. And then just lay it down random. Pick up some of this. Okay. Oh, see that? Start getting these really nice painterly strokes. Oh, love these. And that's on the pink. Awesome. So we have some laying down here. Let's grab some of these. All right. So you see, we're just going to pick up and just layer. Like this. These are looking good. All right. So I'll be right back. Let me get these paints going. Okay, I'm back. So I've got everything all ready to go. I have several boxes. Some things are open, some aren't. You know, trying to keep track of things. But these are all now primed. So I kind of put them around the plate just so I can make sure they were all working. So we'll just work I'll just work in patches. We can just kind of mix different ones. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some sections and just kind of work around the color I have on the plate. Yeah, look at that. Just using some brush strokes. Okay. Oh, I love these. Look at that blue. It's good. We like. So let's just go ahead and get this moved around the plate. This is from their metallic jewel tone collection. And when you use the brush like this, you can literally get some really different, you know, like you can put the colors down and they'll stay, you know, pure without, oh, look at that, without mixing. See how we're just going to keep on building up. Just a process of putting it down and building up. So that's why this is just mindless. You don't have to really, you don't have to overthink any of it. And, you know, just choose your palette and get something that you like and you're comfortable with, and then just, you know, have at it. So I'm using a smaller brush just to get a different mark. We can just kind of mix back and forth. So. Oh, that's nice on top of the champagne. Oh, look at that on top of that pink. These metallics are just so gorgeous. Yum. You can see I'm already in my daydream world. I'm not hardly talking. Okay, so I've got a couple more that I haven't put anything in yet. So let's get this. And you can kind of alter the stroke within the same color. Kind of using my plate as a palette and a and a printing surface. Oh, look at that. Those look so nice together. See how you just get this really beautiful, like just painterly line, and I just try to, anywhere where you sort of see the clumps built up, I just kind of remove them and just spread them out. That way you don't like get too many clumps of color. You just get these really just pure brush marks. Okay. So you see why getting a little color down on the surface first is really nice. Oh, look at that. See, these would be really neat pockets. Get that down there. Let's get this one. Like, this doesn't take a lot of paint either. That to do these, because you know, we're just sort of making these marks. Once you get that, let's do this up here. Once you get that first layer down, you know, the paints are not absorbing into the paper anymore as much as it's just absorbing into the surface. See how I'm starting to mix them? Oh, it's just so like candy. Now let's grab this one. Let's get some of this orange on it. And I, a lot of times, will work and paint whole pages. Close that so we can't hear the airplanes. It's that time of day. I'll do whole pages like this. And then come back, and then you can stencil symbols on them, or, you know, whatever you want to do. These, they just blend so beautifully. So even like with these earlier colors like this, I just keep on working. Just keep on working. Paint. Let me get a little bit more of this orange. It's a little, just using my brush to get it off. Okay. Okay. Get some of that here. Yes, look at that. Get a little bit of this goldy green. Oh, I'm loving it. See how it just gets just these beautiful abstract patterns that you gotta love. Okay. Let's get some of this here. So don't forget, you can just keep on thinning it out and just pick the paint up and just make new marks with it. It just seems to pick up these marks really nicely. Perfect. Now let me get some of this from the purple and pink earlier, and let's just start adding some of these colors in. How are we doing time-wise? Okay, we're doing good. I don't want the video to end while I'm in the middle of having fun. See how these colors just start working really well together. So let's get a little more pink down. Excuse me, my throat's a little scratchy. And then we can work it in, because it works in nicely with this gold greeny kind of color. And I'm just kind of, you know, going back and forth between my brush sizes. Oh, look at this. Look at this. These colors are just, I just love these jewel tone metallics. They are just really good. Alrighty. Come back down here and grab some of this, and let's get a little bit more of this along this line. Yep, that's good. Oh, look at that. And then what happens too, you know, you start getting that old wall technique, because you're just picking up lots of extra bits and stuff. Okay, so let's get some more of this out. And I want to use, did I use some of this? Let's get some of this blue. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And of course you can do this on any size plate. Okay, let's grab this. If you have a slightly bigger plate, you can see you have more area to play, but it doesn't matter. Whatever size plate you have, this is going to do the trick. Because you're just picking up pieces. Oh, look, see how this blue and green really worked in to just, you're just able to create all these different palettes without, you know, with ease. Let me get a little bit of this pink in there. For all of you who follow me who love these brighter colors, this daydream is for you. Because I know I don't go to color a lot, but I do use it. It just depends on my projects. But see, and I can even, of course, the way I continue to mix them, I kind of start getting a little more earthy kind of tones to them. But, you know, you can also keep yours a little bit more pure if you want, you know, more pops of color. Keep more of white backgrounds. This is just good. Okay, so got a few more to do, and then we move on to the next part of the technique. So we'll use this green up, so we... Yes, there's more. Remember, it's all about the layers. You guys know that by now. For me, it's all about layers. That's where you get the richness, is you don't stop at there. You don't stop at, so I'm just going to clean this up on this envelope that doesn't have any color on it. It's all good. Wow. This green gold, I just love this color. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to get some of our spray, like our eyes ink. So I have the honey, I have beige honey. I did get some pomegranate. Of course, our antique pearl. I did have this shimmer mist too. Some of you guys still have these like I do. This is a green. So what we're going to do is just going to pick stuff up off the plate. Oh, look at that, how it's bleeding in. Oh, this is pretty. That green is bleeding in behind the, oh, look at that, behind the gold. That's nice. Let's get a little bit of beige. Pretty. See, we'll just keep on adding tones to it. Just rub it in, you know. You could also still use a brush if you want. And we can still kind of get these, we can keep with the theme of the brush marks. Pick up this subtle marking, and then a little bit of this on top, so when it dries, oh, look at this. Brilliant. Oh, that's just beautiful. So we got to use all of our stuff. Let's keep going. Let me use some more of this too. This shimmer mist. I sort of like that patina green that it's doing as an undertone. Oh my goodness, this is good. Oh, see, even getting that little wave in there like that is nice. I think I'm gonna leave it, you know, like where it's just collecting and pulling there. I like that. So I'm gonna leave that, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on it and let it dry. Okay, so we're coming down the home stretch. Let's we're just gonna how are we doing time-wise? Are we doing good? Perfect. We got time. Oh, this is so good. So don't forget to use, because now we're staining underneath the colors. So don't forget to just use your brush and just work it in. So see what we're getting? Ah, this is good. Let me get my Tim Holtz in the, let's do some tea dye. We can do a little tea dye on here. Oh, that's nice. So that's good. We'll let that dry. You can see that. Okay, let's get some more of this. The shimmer mist is doing a really wonderful thing. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 envelopes going. So I'm telling you, you could just do this all day. This is good stuff to look at old movies too. You know, because, you know, you can really kind of look up and see the movie while you're doing this. You know, sometimes you're working on stuff and you really can't look. But if you, it's actually raining here in Arizona, if you can believe it or not. Something that hardly ever happens. But today it is. So this is like a perfect day for me to be in the studio doing this video with you guys, and you know, you have a movie on or listen to your favorite podcast. These are just, let me see, I should have some more. Where are my other I'm looking for my, oh, this bundled sage is good. Since I have these green tones. This is the Distress Stains with Tim Holtz. Look at this. We like. And then I'll do a little bit of, so when these dry, they're just going to be, Okay, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping, alrighty, everything separate. Let's do some of this. We can move this around with our brush as we know. And let's see this pomegranate. Get a little bit. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's perfect. That's Seth's Eyes Inks. Look at that. Each one of them is like a little abstract work of art. So I'll pick up some of that extra spray that went down. Okay, so let's get, I have honey here too. Let's do some honey. And then, like I said, we can do some brush marks. Okay. So let's see, what color do we want to spray across this one? Let's use beige. So this is how I sort of make my palettes. Like if I'm using bright colors, then I go back and I grab earth tones to knock them back a little bit so they work in overall with my palette. So for those of you who want to keep this bright, then of course you'd keep on using like pomegranates and turquoise and you know, like the brighter tones in your spray mist, and then that way you'll keep the palette bright. So there are several ways, you know, to work it, and you just knowing your palette and just pushing back and forth between them. So a few more to do like this. I want some more of that. I like this green, the way it's making this sort of this sort of patinaed effect. Make sure you rub your color in, because it's going to go down below the paints that are laying there, and it'll really stain the paper beneath it. I love it. And see, when it dries, you're going to see these paints are going to pop, and then the stains will go underneath them, and you'll really see a lot of dimension. So I think, I don't know, like I want to spray some of my licorice on there. So where is it? Okay, so I have Seth's here. I know I have the licorice in here. Yeah. Just want to get a little dark tone here, just a little bit. But what I don't want to have happen is I don't want a lot of black on my plate. So let's just put a piece of paper down. So when we spray it, you know, just a little bit. Sorry, that's Aston. So we're going to let that dry, because see, I want all of those little pieces. I want all of that. But let me see something. I should be able just to... Aston! He's fussing because he wants to go outside. Oh, okay, that worked. There's a little bit too much puddling there, but I wanted all of that around the edge, and then use your paintbrush. And you can just sort of make those brush marks again. Oh, this is good. And then using a little bit of that right there. So you see how I can deepen. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just be right back. Okay, I'm back. I think the little guy really had to potty. At least he lets us know, right? Okay, so this is gorgeous. So I'm going to get some of this, more of this pomegranate on this one. Let's just get a little bit of pomegranate. This is nice. Alrighty. So we like that one. So I'm just pushing back and forth between, I've got 3 more to do, between dark palettes and light palettes. I mean, you know, like not so much dark, but ones that have more earth tones to them. This is distressed tea dye. So let that dry. Let's just see. We'll pick some of this up. Love it. So we use our brush. Like that. Okay, so that's a little bit of beige there. And we have one more. What should we do with this one? Let's pull this up. Okay, so let's brush some of this around. Once again, so we get the paint marks. And then let's do some tattered rose. Because this is pinky. We'll just get some tattered rose down. And then we are going to use a little bit more of our, of course, the pearl, antique pearl. So let's go back to the top and see how the earlier ones dried. Oh, so good. So the last bit that we're going to do in this series, the way I do this particular technique, those of you who follow me, you know I've got to do a little bit of the scripting. So the way I script on the Gelli plate, and this is any mark making. So since we did mark making last, well, a couple of weeks ago, you guys really seem to love that. Yeah, I love mark making. Making our tools and all that good stuff. So we're going to do some glazing. So for those of you who've been around for a minute, you know what the glazing is all about. It's just a thin layer of a very translucent type of color. In this case, I'm using one of my faves, which is Deco Arts Champagne Gold. So because I kind of got an extra bit on here, I'm gonna use this to pick some up. I had a little bit too much paint down. So here we got spare envelopes, no problem. Let's just pick some of the color up. And what's going to happen is we're going to get a really interesting thing because of all that's down on that plate. Perfect. All right, so I want a very thin layer. I don't really want a lot of color here. I'm just trying to get a thin layer so that when I use my ink, it'll, you know, the ink will stay put. It won't bubble up. It may bubble up in some places, but, you know. So here again, you can use any of your mark making tools. If you made any brushes or... So then we can take that and put it right down. And so I can transfer that image. Oh, yum! Look at that. I love it. Oh my goodness. And so this extra bit there, we can just pick that ghost up. See? So just keep on picking up marks. And this was our little throwaway envelope that I was just cleaning the plate with. So I want to show you this too. So we can, let's just get a little more color down, not a lot. Because you want the thinness of coat, because you don't want to cover up any of your, you don't want to cover up any of the colors that we have. So here, just the same, we can just do just random mark making. So just go back and sort of revisit some of the mark making that we did. And let me find something that's dry. So we'll grab this one and get some strokes. And just kind of digging around on the floor here. See, this one is nice. And even this one that we have here. So you don't have to do them on all of them, but you know, you can just add some mark making to what we have going. See, just that. I mean, you just couldn't plan this, and it's just like just a really pretty little abstract piece. So we're doing these on envelopes, but of course you could do this on all your paper. See, just having them branded on the plate like that, you just get a little bit of mark making. Some of the critical areas. Let's put this back down right here. Just love it. So some of them can have them, some of them don't. You don't have to, you know, just have fun with it. Just showing you different things to work with. Oh, I love it. Just kind of keep on picking some up on here, and then I'm gonna just show you how we can so these right here that we did, I'm gonna get some of that, the shimmer mist. I'm just kind of spray right on it. Oh boy, look at that. This is gonna just dry so beautifully. So right on top of that one that we just cleaned our plate off with, literally, we can we have a little bit more fun going. So this is a good place to stop, or else I won't, because see, I see this down here. So now I'll just I'll just keep going. So see how, oh, look at that. That's that green. That shimmer mist. So that's activating the plate, right? Oh, look at that. That's just like beautiful watercolor. So here we're just getting like a nice wash. Oh, I just love that like this. Boy, oh boy. And you can see how watery it is. Well, since I have stuff on the plate, and I'm sure you guys don't mind, so I'll just keep on activating. Just spray some of this. They don't make this shimmer mist any longer. I'm pretty sure they don't. So if you have some, I know a number of you said, oh my goodness, that you had some and you had pulled your shimmer mist out when I've used it before. But any of your alcohol sprays will work. Look at that. That's just like a whole little abstract piece. When this plate gets to going, it just starts singing. Gorgeous. Let's go ahead and put this down and grab some. Okay. I don't think it gets much better than this. Because now we're just, the plate is just giving us her bounty. So all this extra stuff that's down there, just spraying a little bit of that alcohol ink on it. We're just getting all of the eye inks and the distressed material that's down there is coming off, as well as this Sumi ink is going to keep on producing. So you get these subtle layers because it's a water-based product, and you just kind of can keep on picking stuff up. Let's see, got a little bit more here. Let's just go for it. Let's see if we use let's use something that, let me try something that you guys could have, which is like this Seth's spray in the antique pearl. This will activate this too. So let's see what happens. So you can just play with the sprays you already have. You don't feel like you have to not do it because you don't have this exact product. I never know. Wow. This is very, okay, so it's kind of hard to see, but that pearl is down there. So what I'm going to do is I'll come back here and pick up. So here we have just, oh my goodness, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this one. Oh, look at that. So we just could get, like, it's just a lighter version, so but we're still activating. So if you have the bundled sage, which is Tim Holtz, let's put some of that down. The bundled sage will do a similar thing. Okay. So you see we're now, a lot of the ink is gone now. We've kind of run it down where we picked most of that Sumi ink up that we did with the mark making. So you see how much you get out of it. Like, you don't have to put down new marks every time. So every time, you know, you want to do a pull, just let what you have down there run its course. And so with these, I'll just come back with my brush and we can just do some mark making right on top of it. Like that. And then what I like to do sometimes is this, to see how this is starting to run. Oh. So then you just kind of can spray a little bit of this pearlescent on it and you'll get more of a run. And when it dries, it's just the best. So it'll start running. See how it's running there? Different places. Let's get a little bit more here. Yeah. Alrighty, so I think that's a great session. What we'll do is I'll let these dry and then I'll come back and I'll show you how I'll turn them into various pockets. It's very simple methods. You guys probably show me some of the tricks of your trade making envelopes. But for those of you who aren't, you know, familiar with this, we'll just take it all the way through to the end and we'll turn these into pockets. All right, I'll be right back when this dries. Okay, so I am back. Everything is nice and dry. So I thought I would do just a quick flip through so you all can see what all, and these were just our bonus ones. And look how beautiful they are. We were just cleaning the plate with these. So just using different techniques. Just, you know, I like the splatter and just adding those extra elements in, I think just really is special. And the mark making, love the mark making on the Gelli plate because I just love the way it runs. You know, you just get these really neat abstract kind of mark making that it's hard, just like you couldn't sit here and figure out like how to put these in those places, you know. This is that licorice. You know, it really, it starts off like really black looking, but when it dries, it really turns into this really nice kind of purpley, inky kind of color. It's nice. That's Seth's spray dyes in the licorice. So don't be afraid of this color. It really is a nice color. These are our watercolor ones, which are really just beautiful. So we got quite a bit of them made. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'll show you just a couple of quick ways to turn these into pockets and to fold out. So one of the very first, and so what I like to do is I'll just take one and just using my glue stick, you guys know I like to use the Giotto. I'll just kind of go along where the glue, you know, where the pre-glued space is. But if you do it with the glue stick, then you get from, you know, flap to flap, versus if you just lick it, these pieces always stick up. So that's, so the first one, I just take scissors and I just kind of cut straight across the top. This is easy peasy stuff. And then I use generally my 1.5 round hole punch. Just, you know, just kind of get in there and just grab a little of the top. And so you have a finger hole. Now what I generally will do too is you can just paint down in that area so it's not white, or put some washi tape. A lot of times I'll take and put a little bit of just some extra text. A lot of times I have some text laying around. I don't have any right now that I can get my hands on real quick. But I'll just take and glue a little bit of text down in there so that you don't see that white space. But then right off, this part would get glued right onto your page. And pocket number 1, and look how pretty it is. It's just like ready to go. So that's one. Easy peasy. Let's grab another one. So with this one, we can also take and let's glue this up again. Alrighty. And we can take this one and cutting it at an angle, just at about any place on. And then sometimes to get rid of that little point, I just will take and cut another little angle, you know, so that it's not like pointed. And the same thing, I always put the finger hole, the thumb hole, because, you know, it's easier to see that it's a pocket in your journal. So, and save all these little pieces, because these little pieces become nice little corners that on a journal page, you know, this can just be glued down, right? And it can become a tuck spot. So don't get rid of these. Hold on to those. Okay. So we have this, and then what we can do is take, let's see, another, let's do something. Let's grab one of these, see what goes. That's nice. Okay, so we can take another one. And let's just go ahead and glue this again. And I'm just showing you guys some basic ones just so you can see how it comes together. Like I said, these are not complex at all. So let's just take, so you can cut it in half or any point along, you know, the envelope. Okay. And so then this can get glued onto here. Okay. So in this case, you know, remember, put something in there. But using my using the glitter glue, because I want this to be a pocket too. Okay, are we coming out? Let's see which one of these is ready to go. I haven't used this in a, oh, there we are. I just take and run a bead of white PVA, doesn't matter. Any glue you have. You can also use your glue stick. And then you can take and glue this right on top. So using, you know, a coordinating color. That down. And then with this going on a page, say, so you know you could glue this down, so you do the same thing, just glue around the corners, and then you could have a tuck spot, a tuck spot, a tuck spot, and so you get 4 of them out of something like this. And how pretty is that? That's just ready to go. So, and then, you know, of course with these, you can just have a half a pocket to put on the page. So you guys get the idea. And I'll show you one other thing I do with them. So of course this is ready just to be put on a page anywhere, you know. Nope. So, and you have these wonderful little pockets. You just do a lot of these up and they're all ready to go. And then the other one I'll show you guys is like, let's see. This one would be pretty like that. Let me see. Okay. So once again, let's put this glue here. Now this one you can turn into a fold out so that you can make a small booklet out of this. And basically what I would do is just cutting really close to the edge. You just want to open up the 3 sides. So you open this side, open this side, now with this one of the things I would do, if you decide you want this type, either you can come back and lay this down and jelly print the inside to get pattern in the inside, or you can just use this as an opportunity to take scraps and just do some collaging, and that also will thicken up your pages. So you could just do some intuitive collaging there, or you can do intuitive collaging on this side. You can take one of your pockets that you've already created and just glue it down so that you have a top pocket inside of here and a flap. And you can also do pamphlet stitch, or just using a staple some blank pages in the crease here, like I did here on these pages, like here. So in the fold, I just put some of, you know, tea stain papers. You can do any paper. And this one I did slightly different because I left it open so you have a pocket here. But in our case, we would just take and put the pocket on top. And this one is the 3-pocket one, so you could have this where you actually have a lot going on here. And these would make really great little booklets. So you could literally turn a couple of envelopes into a pretty intense booklet or zine. So we just, you know, have that. So those are just a few ideas. Let me see. You can also put a thumb hole here, or you can also put tabs on here, tags and stuff, so that, you know, these become flipped. So you guys, you got it from there. You know a lot of ways to create these things, but I just thought how much fun I have when I create these envelopes for my journals, and you just can't have all of these and they're just all ready to go, you know. And of course, this painterly technique you can just do on your pages. This is just such a beautiful way to jelly print using the mono printing process. And it doesn't look, it looks painted, you know. It looks so beautifully painted, and you don't necessarily immediately think jelly print with this. So that's why I like this, using the paintbrush technique. So there we have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this session as always. If you enjoyed it, please thumb it up. And if you're new, please subscribe to the channel. And we just will continue to do this every Saturday as we work through our 365 days of journaling, or our 52-week art challenge all together. It's the same. And thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I really enjoyed this session. I had a lot of fun jelly printing as always. And I will see you again next Saturday. Love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.